it's more important that it's a buyer than what product they purchased, because it will like mess with the optimization. So this is kind of like a first layer. Hi, John here. In this video I will show you how to do story-based targeting on Facebook. If you are still in a federation, my free Facebook mastermind group, then definitely join that group. It's a group full of people who spend millions of dollars every month on Facebook. So if you have more advanced questions about Facebook advertising or e-commerce, then definitely join that group, because we'll be able to help you out. And also, if you like my videos, then definitely subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button. Why I'm doing this video? Well, this is kind of like one of my fight backs when it comes to that iOS 14 change, right? Because that iOS 14 basically will make the pixel a bit like dumber, right? What I did back in 2015 or 2016, when that pixel was really just like one code on thank you page, and it was not really that smart, we were always like focusing on story-based targeting, right? Try to always like hit 500,000 people and be very like specific in targeting, right? So every time when I was, for example, giving orders, to my like VAs who were creating different ad sets for me every day for Facebook, then I basically always give them, okay, today you will be running around this story, like soccer mom, with kids from like 4 to 7 years, in this location and things like that, right? So I always give them like specific group of people and told them to build a story, from interests in those ad sets, and every day I had like different set of ad sets, for that. So we were constantly testing like different types of audiences that were like very specific, and we always like intersect, different interests. And today, because I think that iOS 14 will kind of like, it will not be like change of Facebook, but I think it will be maybe like a step back, to those times when that Facebook pixel was not so smart. I will show you that how it worked, and basically how I'm also right now creating my ad set. Okay, so this is my ad set, and I will show you now how to kind of like build it. So first, if you didn't watch my previous video about what kind of like changes I did, to make that Facebook pixel a bit smarter because of that iOS 14, and definitely watch my previous video, because I'm also like showing there how actually that change hit me and what kind of like passive changes I did that actually increase my conversion rate and make that pixel smart, right? And basically what I want to do here is that we will focus on broad ad sets. Let's say that we are selling car product, one of those driving glasses, you probably already saw like a lot of different ads, for these like yellow glasses, or that windshield that is like yellow, for car. So I think this is like one of those most known products that almost like everybody used in the past. So I will show you how to kind of like target that, let's say, with that more specific targeting. So we will do all genders. Even when I want to like target moms or something, I will still not touch genders, because I think every time when I mess with genders, it kind of like mess with everything. So I don't care if I will even like serve that ad to men, because anyway, if I will target really like specific targeting for like mom interest, it will anyway like 90% of those ads will get to those women, okay? So just keep there all genders. And here we can start with, let's say that what I want to do first is automobiles. So this is kind of like a first layer, and I think that this is like the more broad layer. So let's say that I have like huge, amount of people. First, I want to like separate them to like some bigger interest, right? Like automobiles. So that kind of tells me that everybody who is little bit into automobiles at least sometimes mention something about cars or travel with cars or whatever, okay? So these people at some point probably are using car, or maybe they want car, but still it's like automobiles and it's like huge. So this will basically pick that specific group of people that like those automobiles or like cars or use cars or whatever about cars. And then, because we basically have here just 74 million people, I will start narrowing the audience. So let's say that here we can, for example, use like parents, because well, parents always like spend money on safety and things like that. And basically, if we are selling like these glasses or some like car product that like car dash cams or whatever, these people will be more likely to buy it because they have family, for example. and usually they have like some income. So now basically by parents I already like pushed down that audience to like 18 million people, and now we will keep going. So now we can, for example, focus on things like let's say Toyota, and we are already like at 5.9 million, which I would probably also like still keep going down a little bit. Now we can also focus on commuters. So they basically use cars every day for their work, and that's already like 980 people. You can push it a little bit down, but still, this is like very nice, selection, okay? Truth is that if you will, for example, check this, and put here like 35, which is probably your real audience, you are already on 770,000 people. I just put here 18. I don't want to touch, that age and gender because it really like mess with the optimization. So if I'm touching that age, I really want to have like some reason for it. And in this case, I don't think this reason is like big enough to mess with it. So this is first one. Okay, so let's now do one with lookalike audience. I will just pick like some random lookalike audience from February 28. Basically, that's like my database, and I will use 10% lookalike audience because here, when you are using lookalike audience, the 10% is like very specific audience. For me, this is database that is full of people who purchased from me, right? And so let's say that it's like database of like probably like 300 400,000 people, this specific one. So I can really like put that highest percentage because I mean these are all like buyers. So let's just use 10%, and this is not like some specific product audience, it's like 7 or 8 different winning products like together, at least for me it's more important that it's a buyer than what product they purchased, because once it's a buyer, Facebook will go and find buyers. Now we have 23 million people, and let's say we have like some kitchen product, right, for cooking, some like a salad maker or something. We can focus on cooking, which is gigantic interest, right? And that basically will already tells me, that here is like huge group of people that love cooking, and now I will go specifically and try to like dig inside that cooking. We still have 17 million people, and now we will narrow it a little bit, and let's say we will do recipes. That already pushed down to 13. Basically, that already tells me that this person loves cooking and they care about recipes. And now we can narrow it, for example, to let's say vegetable. And it's already 5 million. Now we can focus on some like olive oil, right? And you are already on 1,200,000. And well, if you want to keep going, you can, but I think if you really like narrow it like 4 times, I think that's really like enough, and you are hitting like very specific, part of people, because basically the person needs to cook, and they use recipes for it. They want to cook from vegetable and they do it with olive oil, let's say. Okay, so this could be also like a story. Basically, every time when I do one of these ad sets, I imagine a person who like come, for cooking, they take like some recipe book, they take vegetable and well, whatever, meat or something, and then they do it on like olive oil, right? It's just important for me to have some story behind it because like story sells. Let's do one more, and let's say now we'll focus on like pets or dogs. So let's do dogs. Let's say you are selling some like dog toy or something, and it will be completely broad audience without any lookalikes. Basically here you can go 2 ways, right? Because well you can go with dogs, that's like obvious. I mean that's probably like first thing because it's gigantic, and and now you can narrow it with for example pet store. So let's say it's a dog owner and he or she goes to pet store a lot, and let's say they buy their like pet food or dog food, maybe dog food, and maybe they also like to dog walking, but it will be like super small, 360,000 people. That's already too small, but I would still test it probably. And but you can also like put to that 4 like separation actually more dog interest. So let's say that you will take some suggestions, you know, maybe they care about dog behavior. That means that they study dog behavior and they start some kind of training, you know. That's actually a very specific interest, and you can, for example, in some cases just take this very specific interest like that dog behavior and just create ad set with that. It's like obvious that that person really cares how they live, you know, how they behave, because like people who don't have dogs will probably not care about dog behavior. Same thing about dog walking, right? So just do dog walking. 1,800,000 people. Okay, so you can narrow it with like pet store, and it's already 480,000 people. So you can play with the targeting a lot, you know, and you can kind of like make game of it, you know, because at least you will know who you are selling. Because every time when you are launching any product, you should always know who is that best customer or that group of people that you are trying to sell that product. Well, because usually like if you don't know that, it's like very difficult for you to sell everything. Till that iOS 14 change, you know, everything last years was like very easy with Facebook. You could just like pick one interest, you know, that has like 200, 300 million people in it, switch it on, and then Facebook would solve it for you. But since they will have less data now, you know, because of Apple, then you will need to be a lot more, you know, on top of your game and understand what you are targeting, you know, because basically people who are running blind with like huge interest and don't know how else to target, you know, they will be kind of like dead soon, you know. Or they will need to, you know, like learn how to properly target. If you are running like some money, you know, some advertising budget every day, you should every day like test these new audiences, because that's always what I do. Even when I'm like duplicating a lot of ad sets that works, I still test new audiences, you know. So I'm every day adding to that mix of like hundreds of ad sets some new people, you know, that I'm constantly like using as well. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope this story-based targeting a little bit helped you, because well, I think now is the best time to do it, because since that pixel is not so smart anymore, or it will take some time, you know, till Facebook will solve it, you know, and make it smart again, then I think that story-based targeting, or be like very specific with your targeting, is the key, you know, like to move forward, you know, because like, well, right now, you know, the pixel will be less smart, so you will need to have more specific targeting, you know, because before you basically throw there like one interest and Facebook kind of like found a way, you know, but now it will have less data, so you need to kind of like help it, you know, by the targeting. So definitely like work on that. If you are already running like some successful promotion, these ad sets will just like make it better, okay? They will not make it worse. So thank you very much for watching my video, and well, I will see you next time. Bye.